From the Cronkite studios in downtown Phoenix, this is Cronkite News.
Convict or acquit? The country braced for that answer all day as the final verdict on President Trump's impeachment trial came down. We have the latest from what's happening in D.C.
Plus, what do Arizona lawmakers and you think about the president's State of the Union address last night?
And you may be asking yourself, why has it been so cold here in the valley this week? Well, I'm going to explain why and let you know when the 70s return in your forecast.
Cronkite News starts now.
Good evening and welcome to Cronkite News on Arizona PBS. I'm Jordan Elder.
And I'm Brady Klain. Thanks for joining us.
The Senate today voted to acquit President Donald Trump of 2 articles of impeachment, just the 3rd time in history that senators have voted against removing a sitting president from office.
The outcome was long expected, but some votes of individual senators were not clear until the last minute. That included Arizona Democratic Senator Kyrsten Sinema. Gabriela Collage from our Washington, D.C. bureau has more.
After months of hearings and weeks of debate, Arizona senators fell in line with their respective parties today, with Republican Senator Martha McSally voting to acquit the president and Sinema, a Democrat, voting to remove him from office. McSally indicated last week how she would vote, but Sinema had been playing her cards close to her vest. Her only comment before today was that she would not comment until all the evidence was heard and the trial was completed. Some thought Sinema, a moderate, might cross party lines and vote to acquit. But in a statement released just minutes before the vote, she said the facts were clear, that Trump withheld aid from Ukraine for his political benefit. Other senators who were on the fence took the floor this week to explain their votes, including Maine Republican Susan Collins, who voted to acquit, and Utah Republican Mitt Romney, who voted to convict.
I do not believe that the House has met its burden of showing that the president's conduct, however flawed, warrants the extreme step of immediate removal from office.
I acknowledge that my verdict will not remove the president from office. The results of this Senate court will in fact be appealed to a higher court, the judgment of the American people.
Like Sinema, McSally led a press release to her talking. McSally said today that while the president is not perfect, the impeachment pursued by the House was reckless and that the voters should decide this fall whether to remove Trump from office, not the Senate. In Washington, Gabriela Collage, Cronkite News.
The impeachment vote coming the day after President Trump gave his State of the Union address, sparking heated debates on social media.
Yeah, a couple of moments from last night's speech in particular are getting a lot of attention. First, there's the 2 frosty exchanges between the president and Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi. The 2 clashed when Pelosi attempted to shake the president's hand and later when she ripped up her copy of his speech.
The other moment trending on Twitter is when Fred Guttenberg, father of a Parkland, Florida shooting victim, was ejected from the State of the Union address. He yelled, "What about my daughter?" as President Donald Trump talked about protecting Second Amendment rights. His daughter, Jamie Guttenberg, was among those killed in the 2018 Stoneman Douglas High School shooting. Fred Guttenberg later regretted his outburst and tweeted that he should not have yelled out and that he'll try to do better as he pursues gun safety.
Arizona senators were also at President Trump's State of the Union address. Both Martha McSally and Kyrsten Sinema brought guests from Tucson. Sinema brought Major General Ted Maxwell, a former commander of the Air National Guard. And McSally brought Hope Harrison, the widow from Tucson whose husband was killed in a terrorist attack in Kenya last month. They spoke on Fox and Friends last night about their experience.
I was so glad she accepted the offer. And this is a very difficult time for her and their family, but wanted to give her a little bit of a glimmer of hope, which is her wonderful name and her daughter's name, Heaven.
Yeah, Hope, I understand this just happened last month, by the way. You are so strong to be able to come here and talk about your husband this quickly after. You know, as you just heard Senator McSally say, if you could get any glimmer of hope from last night, did you? Were there any words that resonated with you?
You know, it was beautiful. You know, it was an amazing opportunity. You know, I'm thankful that God has given me this opportunity. I'm thankful for Senator Martha McSally. You know, I can't express how much I appreciate this invitation and just her as a human being. You know, it was wonderful to, you know, I'm a huge supporter of our president as well as our country, our military, and our contractors alike. But, you know, to see that President Trump honored the military and everyone that he did was very touching.
Cronkite News also heard from other members of Arizona's delegation in Washington after the State of the Union speech. Reporter Danielle Malkin joins us to share what they had to say from both sides of the aisle.
And as you might expect, reaction to the president's speech also fell along party lines. Some found it inspiring and others questioning the facts he presented.
The state of our union is stronger than ever before.
President Donald Trump delivered his third State of the Union Tuesday night, tackling topics like a growing U.S. economy and immigration.
The United States of America should be a sanctuary for law-abiding Americans, not criminal aliens.
Arizona lawmakers had mixed reactions to the speech. Democratic Congressman Raul Grijalva criticized the president's rhetoric.
And it became a campaign rally, pathetic campaign rally, full of misinformation, outright lies, taking credit where credit is not due.
While Arizona's GOP lawmakers sided with Trump.
There's just such antipathy towards this president by some in the other party. It wouldn't matter what he did, what he said. They weren't going to join in celebration of what he might accomplish or what he hopes to accomplish.
Senator Kyrsten Sinema took the opportunity to cross party lines, applauding the success of Republican tax cuts and opportunity zones.
Part of our great Republican tax cuts.
On the other side of the aisle, Arizona's congressional members said they don't believe the speech was partisan whatsoever.
There were a couple places where he was partisan. He was trying to be optimistic. He stayed away from the impeachment. He stayed away from, direct digs at Congress members on the Democrat side for all the impeachment, as he calls it, sham or hoax. And so I thought he tried to be positive.
And a moment we didn't get to share with you in that piece, Arizona Horizon host Ted Simons asked Republican Congressman Andy Biggs to rate the speech on a scale from 1 to 10, 10 being considered a home run. Biggs answered that he believed the State of the Union speech was not just a home run, but a grand slam. In studio, Danielle Malkin, Cronkite News.
So now we want to hear from you, with many taking to social media today saying the State of the Union address felt like reality television. We asked what moments stood out to you the most and why.
Karen wrote, when Nancy Pelosi was so childish and tore up the president's speech, that was just immature and hateful. And Sally says, quote, did not watch. His history of lies no longer entertains me. I believe the constant coverage of his every breath contributed to his election. He gets no more of my time.
It's not too late to join this conversation. Just go to our Cronkite News Facebook page to weigh in.
Well, it's another chilly day here in the valley with temperatures dropping into the low 20s this morning. Jordan Evans is standing by now. Jordan, what's going on here in the Valley of Arizona?
Well, Brady, a lot of people actually don't know that our weather here at the surface is driven by what goes on about 18,000 feet above us. Meteorologists call that the 500 millibar pattern, and millibars is how we measure atmospheric pressure. So remember, when you go up in the atmosphere, pressure decreases, which is why your ears pop on airplanes. So here's a current look at the 500 millibar pattern. And as you can see over the southeast, we've got a big area of high pressure where warmer temperatures are. But over the southwest, we're sitting right under a big area of low pressure, which is why we have been so cold this week. So when we talk about the 500 millibar level, we're talking about variations in height. Now those can actually range from 16,000 feet to 20,000 feet. So typically under high pressure, that level sits at about 20,000 feet, but under low pressure, that level can sometimes drop all the way down to 16,000 feet, which makes the air a lot more dense, and denser air is typically colder. So that would explain why we have been so cold here across our state this week. Here's a look at your forecast going forward. There's our area of low pressure. It's going to scoot out of here as we get into later this week, and as we get into the weekend, high pressure starts to build back in. We got the 70s coming back, so I'll show you those numbers exactly coming up in just minutes.
Coming up next on Cronkite News, the coronavirus continues to spread.
We'll break down the latest numbers for you in just a few moments.
And a warning for parents about the risks of teen vaping. You may be shocked by how many admit to smoking marijuana and how they're getting their hands on it. That story up next.
Ready to watch the best of PBS anytime, anywhere, on nearly any device? It's easy with the free PBS Video app. Simply download the PBS Video app on your mobile or streaming device. Now you can watch the latest PBS episodes or catch up on the shows you missed. Discover new favorites from PBS and local content from your PBS station.
The weather around Phoenix is just beautiful today. Let's take a look at the weather around the valley.
Thank you for joining us for the special edition of Cronkite News.
Here are the top stories that we're tracking today at noon.
Some of the best players for their program.
Every day I wake up, my first thought is, how can I serve this community?
The biggest hurdle was not taking PTSD personally.
Would you welcome, please, the amazing.
Everybody that watches this, they say that I am the greatest that they've ever seen.
And now an update on the coronavirus outbreak that is spreading across the globe. In Asia, over 24,000 cases and 492 deaths, which is up significantly from Monday. Asia right now is the only continent that's had deaths in the coronavirus, but as you can see, cases are moving over into Europe and over into the Americas. North America specifically has 16 cases, most of which are found in the United States, as you can see here. The state with the most cases right now is California with 6. We have 1 in Arizona that we've been tracking. Many countries have stopped air travel to and from China to help prevent the spread of the outbreak. We'll keep you updated as more comes.
Teens are starting to drink and use illegal drugs less frequently, according to the latest study. However, there has been an increase in vaping nicotine and cannabis here in Arizona. Cronkite News reporter Madison Atkinson explains how parents need to be more educated on drug usage.
Vaping is still a big issue for our teens, even after lung issues and death over the past year. One Arizona nonprofit organization is working to help them make more positive life choices.
So the main reason that I quit vaping is because it got to a point where, like, literally I thought my lungs were gonna fail on me.
Taylor Gary has been sober for 5 years. He used to struggle with drug and alcoholism. Now he's a prevention specialist with Not My Kid. The Arizona Criminal Justice Commission conducts a survey every 2 years of Arizona youth to assess health risk behaviors and substance abuse among teens. The latest numbers show 4.8% of students surveyed smoked cigarettes in the past 30 days. That number has been dropping since 2014. But that's not the case for e-cigarettes. 19.9% of youth said they used e-cigarettes in the past 30 days. The number has gone up each year since 2016. Teens are also reporting they are able to easily get marijuana. 15.7% of those surveyed said they had used marijuana in the past 30 days, and 12.3% of them said they had smoked or vaped marijuana concentrates in the past 30 days where marijuana was obtained. So how are they getting it? 24.8% said they got it from someone with a medical marijuana card, and 10.6% reported that they bought it from a dispensary here in Arizona. Gary says the THC levels in some of these products are very high.
But when you get it in a concentrate like these kids are getting in these wax pens, it's upwards to 80 to 100% THC. So it's a big difference, and they're doing it everywhere because it's not smelling as much and it's easy to hide. And
Not My Kid wants to encourage parents to talk with their teens about the dangers of substance abuse and wants teens to take a hard look at the impact of their decisions.
If you're trying to justify what you're doing and you're looking at data and you're cherry picking things that are telling you, oh, well, this is relatively safe, and you're not really digging into what's the real price I'm going to pay for this, you're doing yourself a disservice.
Not My Kid encourages teens to look into the specific dangers that are not only short-term but long-term, and specifically for the teen brain. The survey also showed that Arizona teens are also consuming less alcohol, but when they do, it's usually at a party. In the studio, Madison Atkinson, Cronkite News.
When we come back, a look at Project Echo.
virtual solution to making sure people living in remote areas of Arizona can get specialized treatment. Don't go away.
As journalists at Cronkite News, we report on stories that matter to you by focusing on the local impact. We dig deeper and work tirelessly to keep you informed.
Live in Wickerburg.
Live in Los Angeles.
In Cleveland. In Washington. In Louisville.
From Jerusalem.
Live in Philadelphia. From around the world to right here in Phoenix.
At Cronkite News, we report the facts and stick to the truth.
Cronkite Noticias is the Spanish-speaking division of Cronkite News, covering topics such as economics, education, sustainability, immigration, and border relations. Cronkite Noticias strives to serve the Spanish-speaking community in Arizona. Under the guidance of prominent Spanish-speaking professionals, students at the Walter Cronkite School of Journalism develop content for our broadcast partner, Univision, as well as on Facebook and Twitter. Explore Cronkite Noticias at cronkitenoticias.azpbs.org.
Ready to watch the best of PBS anytime, anywhere, on nearly any device? It's easy with the free PBS Video app. Simply download the PBS Video app on your mobile or streaming device. Now you can watch the latest PBS episodes or catch up on the shows you missed. And when you support your local station, you can get PBS Passport, giving you access to more episodes, more specials, more of what you love.
Technology is helping rural communities in Arizona. A project created by ASU has been effective in spreading specialized knowledge to providers across the state to increase access to health care. Ashley Stewart has the story.
There's a lack of accessibility for a lot of different reasons. Sometimes it's geographical. It could be a rural community health center.
Imagine being in a remote area in Arizona and not being able to receive specialized treatment. ASU's College of Health Solutions has an innovative model called Project Echo to provide virtual access to that care.
That the community health clinician that is providing care in that community does not have the training or the knowledge needed to manage whatever the health problem is. It could be liver disease, it could be alcohol misuse, a lot of different health problems.
Matt Martin, a clinical assistant professor in the College of Health Solutions, says ECHO does not provide care. It's more about providing training and mentoring for community clinicians. Providers use video technology to receive mentoring and feedback from specialists.
It's really hard to find clinicians that want to stay in a rural area for a long time. And so ECHO can help those clinicians have the kind of support and mentorship that they need to stay in that community and to continue to treat patients from minority populations.
A 2019 study from Arizona State Health Assessment says the provider to population ratio in rural areas is approximately 57,000 to 1 for mental health. A statement from ECHO's director Adrian White says, in essence, we leverage technology to expand the capacity of the current healthcare workforce through the movement of knowledge into the minds that need it most. The goal is to stop moving people and start moving clinical knowledge. In Phoenix, Ashley Stewart, Cronkite News.
The facility plans to be completed by early 2021.
Special delivery. Check out this next story. The Miller family was en route to Banner Estrella Medical Center to deliver their 5th baby when they were forced to pull off onto Miller Road, of all roads. With the help of Buckeye Fire Department, baby Miller was born on Miller Road just before 7 a.m. on Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Congratulations to the Miller family. And congratulations to you, Jordan. I hear it's a holiday today.
Yeah, apparently today's National Weather Person's Day, Jordan, so happy holidays.
Well, thank you very much. And across Twitter, I've seen all the pictures that people have been posting for National Weather Person's Day. And in fact, here's a look at mine. Yeah, this is about, what are we now, 14 years ago? Wow. 2006.
Wow.
Back in Kansas City. Jordan, you could probably speak a lot about this too, but this explains why my love for weather has been around for such a long time. That's Chief Meteorologist Brian Busby back at the ABC station in Kansas City. So very, very nice. National Weather Person's Day, of course, happening today. So give a shout out to your favorite weatherman there on social media if you can. As we talk about your forecast for the evening tonight, we're still dealing with really cold temperatures, especially at the airport. As you can see, 55 degrees right now. And look at the dew point. We're sitting at 0 degrees, which is why dry. Our humidity is only at about 11%. So the air is going to be really dry throughout the evening and for the next couple of days. We're not expecting any rain here, at least until we get into next week. So because of that dry air, the temperatures will fall off sharply throughout the evening. We'll get into the 40s by 8 o'clock tonight. So it's going to be jackets and sweaters and coats later this evening too. In fact, freeze alert still for some places across southern portions of the state. For Pinal County and Pima County too. This does include the Tucson Metro. We're expecting temperatures to get down to mainly the upper 20s for those spots. So 28 for Tucson tonight, 27 in Globe, and 23 for Payson, and 25 in Prescott. So you want to make sure you're protecting those 4 Ps in those spots, those plants, pets, pipes, and people too. In fact, colder temperatures up along the rim and up to the Four Corners region too, with temperatures getting down in the teens tonight. High temperatures in those spots will rebound into the 40s and 50s. And right here in the valley, we'll get up to about 61 tomorrow, and a couple 70s for places like Bullhead City and Yuma for tomorrow afternoon. Across the valley, not a lot of freezes to track for you tonight. In fact, these numbers I think are a little bit on the lower side than what we'll be dealing with. I think we're going to avoid a hard freeze tonight, but we still could get a couple freezes, especially for some of those outlying valley cities like Queen Creek and Apache Junction. But 36 degrees I think is going to be the theme across the valley for the rest of the evening tonight. Here's your 8-day forecast. We warm up heading into the weekend. 70s for that forecast on Saturday, 75 for Sunday. Here come the clouds with our next storm system coming in by next week. 65 for your Monday, and we'll fall back down into the 50s later next week too.
Thanks, Jordan. Coming up after the break, the impact of Special Olympics and how it's bringing athletes together across the country.
Ready to watch the best of PBS anytime, anywhere, on nearly any device? It's easy with the free PBS Video app. Simply download the PBS Video app on your mobile or streaming device. Now you can watch the latest PBS episodes or catch up on the shows you missed, discover new favorites from PBS, and local content from your PBS station.
The weather around Phoenix is just beautiful today. Let's take a look at the weather around the valley.
Thank you for joining us for the special edition of Cronkite News.
Here are the top stories that we're tracking today at noon.
Some of the best players for their program.
Every day I wake up, my first thought is how can I serve this community?
The biggest hurdle was not taking PTSD personally.
Would you welcome, please, the amazing.
Everybody that watches this, they say that I am the greatest that they've ever seen.
Basketball is a sport that reaches all corners of the world, and it's one of the 21 sports the Special Olympics participates in.
A few months ago, Southern California celebrated the 50th anniversary of the Special Olympics by kicking off their fall games. Cronkite News reporter Scott Rowe from our LA Bureau was in Fountain Valley, California to showcase the impact of the Special Olympics.
I've been with Special Olympics for 15 years. My son, who's 29, has been in there for the 15 years as well. He's completely reliant on Special Olympics. This is his main source of getting out in the world. And Special Olympics has really helped him learn to communicate and play well with others.
Being unified with other athletes other than the team athletes. And I think that just adds excitement and fun to the Special Olympics. Athletes who just play in their individual sports.
I find that a lot of these athletes, when they're with one classification of people, maybe more on the special side versus being with, the average, person, they'll actually become a little bit higher functioning when, you integrate.
It just makes me really proud of myself, working hard with my teammates, making new friends.
The way people come out to support the Special Olympics is motivating to the athletes. And that's, I think, half the reason the athletes play their sport is to be cheered on by the fans. And they're not always just their family members, it's the community that comes out and helps them.
It's really good for me to have a lot of support with my family and my friends.
Not only does it bring more enjoyment to them, but I think it also brings more enjoyment to your average person to learn more about, people who are disabled and to appreciate the things that you do have in life.
The Special Olympics has programs all over the country, including serving 6 divisions in the state of Arizona with more than 21,000 participants in the state.
For more information on how you can volunteer to support these athletes in Arizona, head over to their website.
Cronkite News is proud to be the news division of Arizona PBS. Here's what's coming up on Arizona Horizon.
On the next Arizona Horizon, it's our weekly legislative update from the state capitol, and we'll learn about a local company that makes disposable fiber-based food containers. On the next Arizona Horizon.
That's it for Cronkite News tonight. Thanks for joining us.
For top Arizona stories anytime, go to cronkitenews.azpbs.org.